What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DC, UPenn's finest. Chris Coacher, CB, Coacher Boy is back for this episode. We will be finishing our Week 8 recap. We're going to be talking about Sunday Night Football, Cowboys, 49ers, and then the beatdown that the Steelers had on the Giants on Monday Night Football, and then we will preview Week 9, obviously give you the hots and locks. And then that'll pretty much do it. But before we get into that, obviously I have to remind you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave a like, 5-star review, download if you really enjoy the episode, and comment if your platform allows for it. But we can only ever get into that if we swing it to Danny first for Summits and Plummets.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go start off with my Summit of the Week. And as a no New York sports hater, the fact that on Sports Equinox Day that every single New York team was faded and lost brings much life to my soul. I'm very happy to see that all New York teams lost on a Sports Equinox Day. It's you can even fade the Sabres. I know they're across state, but it's nice. It's nice to see the New York losing. Not a fan of the city in general. Not a fan of their fans. If any other city did what the guy did, ripping the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove, they'd be put in prison. So, not really, but in fan prison. So, then this guy's becoming famous because of it. So, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of that. Okay, trash talking, holding up a sign, that's whatever. Once you get to physically touching a player, much less getting yourself involved in the game. Yeah, that's just not cool to me. It's not cool at all. And Mookie could have actually been hurt, so that may be soft. I don't really care, because I don't like the Yankees much. I don't have much more love for the Yankees than you do. So, not facts though. Not facts. Good to see them go down.
Sure.
You do have another side to your segment, by the way.
Yeah, I guess my plummet is that the Sixers have looked awful to start the season. We are not going to talk much basketball, but yeah, they haven't looked good at all. So, yeah, that's my plummet.
Yeah, they haven't looked good, but of course they're without Paul George and Embiid, so take it with a grain of salt, of course. But yeah, we can go right to Chris.
And of course, Embiid and Paul George make the appearance against the Lakers. Their first game is the Lakers, so expect a 20-point blowout. Sixers win. But I will say, I think my summit is that I am going to the Mavs game, I think next Wednesday, I want to say. And my plummet is that I had to miss the Mavs game. The last Mavs game I supposed to have because I had a basketball game, so I couldn't go. And it was the game where, I'm kind of happy I didn't see it. The one where Taylor Hendricks got hurt really bad, his leg kind of did the thing where just whatever.
Yeah, dude, that was not fun to look at.
That was insane. So I'm happy. I'm kind of glad I missed that, but prayers up to him. But yeah, I think that's it. Just a plummet that I missed the game on Monday, the home opener, and then summit that I'm going to the one next week. So yay for me.
Yeah, it's all dope. Prayers to Taylor Hendricks. He was one of those guys that I think everyone, you could see hopefully a leap coming this season. I would say my plummet currently is the Celtics are getting smoked, but no big deal. I'm kind of to the point just get me to late May. But summit though, still staying on top as the Celtics. I did get the JT threes in, so very excited about that. I loved the JT2s. I think I'm going to like these even better because I actually got them in the correct size this time. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to these indoor hoops in the winter for sure. Yeah, they're super light for it looks like he makes bulky shoes, but they never look the appearance. They're always super light. Traction's good. He always puts out good colorways. So, that's probably the sum of the week. On every single episode, you will see me wearing some kind of hat, whether it's a snapback, whether it's a dad style hat, I always got to have something to complete the outfit. And the only place where I get my hats is lids.com. Lids.com has so many different brands, and of course they have a bunch of different styles. Like I just said, it could be dad hat, snapback, it could be fitted, it could be Velcro back. Whatever you want, they got it. And with the NFL season coming up, I know you're going to want to rock and represent your favorite squad. Me personally, I'm a big Eagles guy, and I love this 47 brand throwback hat that I got from lids.com. Or if you're more of a snapback guy, I also got this NBA champions Boston Celtics new era cap from lids.com as well. If you like either of those hats and you feel like you want one to represent your squad, click the link in the description below. Whether it's new era or 47, both links will take you right to lids.com. And the best thing about Lids, they always have some type of deal going on their website. So make sure you click that link and check out any deals they got going on at lids.com. But yeah, I would say if we got nothing else to chit chat about, we could go right into our finishing the week 8 recap, and we can start with Sunday Night Football. Yeah, Danny, I guess I can kick it right to you. We'll start with the Niners. The Niners get a win, so they're sitting atop of they're tied for the division lead right behind the Cardinals because of the tiebreaker. But what did you see from the Niners? What's something that's sustainable? What do you see for them going forward?
Yeah, I think the Niners beat a bad Cowboys team. Cowboys wins have came against a poor Steelers team and just bad football teams. Other than that, the Steelers had a poor effort that game. So, in general, I think that the Niners played good football, but I really think next week is where the Niners become who they are. Christian McCaffrey's coming back. Their best player, their entire offense. So I think they're going to play Niners football, use Christian McCaffrey, use Kittle, use Deebo Samuel, and use these weapons to the best of their ability. And I think that will propel them to actually play Niners football, because outside of that, I think it's not that good. Like, I don't think that their defense, Traveris Ward just lost his daughter, prayers up to him. It's like this team isn't great. And when you're taking that into account, it's the offense is getting weapons hurt. No one's really healthy. It's really, really, really concerning.
Yeah, I would agree. But I mean, they're, at least from a McCaffrey standpoint, they should be getting him back soon. But I will say I agree with the defense. As lopsided as the game looked for the most part, and as much crap as Dallas gets for garbage time, they got the ball back with 3 minutes left in the game. And this was a drive. If they score a touchdown, they take the lead. So they very well fought back in this game. That was a real comeback. It was just McCarthy play calling, not great decision making by Dak. A combination of those things. But I do want to say, last episode, me and you, it was just me and you, Danny. So I don't know if Chris caught this, but I challenged, not that George Kittle cares about my opinion, but challenged George Kittle to be the man. You get this, of course, you get these open looks when Ayuk is one of the main defensive focuses, and Deebo is one of these main focuses, and Christian McCaffrey. Now, Ayuk's out, CMC's hurt, Deebo's been solid, but he's not really been, what he used to be. He's still a solid game. Deebo had a solid game, but Kittle, 6 catches, 128 and a touchdown. He became a number one for Purdy, and that's only gonna look better once you get Christian McCaffrey back, because he's just a whole nother thing that defenses have to account for. So while I agree the defense hasn't looked great, the offense is going to start falling into place. I truly do believe
they
that.
also do get better after the break, historically.
Yeah. Kyle Shanahan with prep time is one of those great coaches. You get a week just to get healthy, even with guys who don't show up on the injury point. Everybody's got bumps and bruises at this point of the year. You'll. And it's funny because the Chargers and the Eagles had really early bye weeks this season, and people are like, I don't want my bye this early. And it always just so happens you need the bye week that early. Because the Eagles definitely need it. I mean, they were rolling into the bye week with, absolute catastrophic, tragic injury reports. So same with the Chargers. But now it's the 49ers time. Of course, 1 week isn't going to get Ayuk back on the field, but It's another week for Christian McCaffrey to rest, and other guys to rest up. But I want to go to Chris. The Cowboys are looking 3-4, dead in the face. They're third in the NFC East. What do the Cowboys do to get back in the race, at least for the wild card? Because as it stands right now, the 5-2 Eagles sit in the 7th seed. NFC is a little brutal. Is there anything the Cowboys could do?
Only thing they can do is go back in time and actually sign Derrick Henry and not be fools, so you can have a running game. And then
they have Dalvin Cook. You forgot Dalvin Cook.
What year are we in?
Shout out to James' brother. I was gonna say that go get a wide receiver 3 and obviously they have to rewind. There's nothing they can do this year. I think the Cowboys season is pretty much over. If I was them, I would start trade deadlines like Monday. I think Monday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything they can do at this trade deadline to do anything. I think injuries have hurt too. Michael being out for a little bit definitely doesn't help. But also the offense really isn't anything. And I don't even put it all on Dak. You got to have somebody to throw it to the quarterback. And outside of CD, I just don't see the weapons there for him. And I think he does good with what he has. Like I said, Dak, I think Tone just said it. He'll lead a drive down the field. He does what you need him to do. Is just you have to finish the drive, to finish the play. Everything has to be working at once. And I don't think it's worked for them all at once this season yet. Like even in their 3 wins, I don't think they've looked good in any of them in reality. I think Danny even spoke to the teams they beat and when they beat them. I don't know. I think this season's pretty much over. Dak Prescott get ready to learn another team. I don't know.
New York Giants.
Dak Prescott get ready to learn New York Giants. Get ready to learn chopped cheese.
Yo, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers get out of the Jets. Dak to the Jets might feed the fam.
I wouldn't mind it.
But yeah, I think as Dak Prescott, honestly, everyone would love Dak if he played anywhere else. He's a big advocate on mental health. He's a great guy. You see him in all the commercials, but you don't like him because he plays in Dallas. So let's send him to the one other media market where no one likes the quarterback that'll play there. Let's send him to the Jets. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Can we get this guy in like a lovable uniform? Let's go send him to Cleveland. Why not? Who's with me?
Gross. I don't want him throwing a Jerry Jeudy.
He would be undoubtedly their best quarterback in my lifetime. Lifetime, for sure. And that's a lot of quarterbacks. Since 2002, it's a lot of QBs. I think Dak would be the best of them. So, yeah, but I mean, I really agree. I mean, Dak, he's not playing great. I don't like the rate he's turning the ball over, but at the same time, it doesn't help that CD's your only option. And Jake Ferguson hasn't been up to par of what he's been last year, but all that falls back on you don't have an elite. Doesn't have to be elite. You don't have a good wide receiver 2 and 3. Brandon Cooks can maybe get behind a defense once, twice a game. But how's that holding up when defense don't respect your run game? Not only is the offensive line not up to caliber in run blocking, the running backs you have back there are simply sad. Rico Dowdle, probably a great guy and is the best option they had. He was out. You're falling back on Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook. 2025 is right around the corner, man. That's just not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. So, yeah, I feel. I mean, like it was just idiotic to look at the Tom Brady of running backs in Derrick Henry, arguably the third best resume active in the NFL, and just say, nah, he's a little too old. Let's go sign our buddy Zeke, though, who got drafted the same year.
That's what made it crazy to me.
Exactly. Like, okay, if you had a fear of Derrick Henry falling off, it would have been when you signed him, though. Zeke fell off the last time he was on your team.
Nah, that's like the Sixers going and signing like Marco Bellinelli.
Okay. Zeke was an all-pro once upon a time. Let's chill.
Marco Bellinelli hit the game-winning shot.
No, he didn't.
Game-winning.
He
hit the game-tying shot, and then y'all got gamed by Jason Tatum.
Or is it like bringing Andre Drummond back? Rebound leader. All-star.
Hey, wait.
The phoniest all-star of our generation.
Rebound leader. All I'm saying.
Yo. the greatest rebounder of all time, according to Andre Drummond.
And me.
We're not doing this, man. He admitted to
doing
doing the Angel Reese special, bro. We're cool.
Angel Reese, first team all rookie. It worked.
Miss it on purpose for the boards. That is so crazy. That's such a great concept. But let's move on to a team that Danny mentioned. He said a quote bad Steelers team, but I think after this game, I think we could look at them in a positive light.
I mean, I'd say at the time it was.
The time, yes, with an inferior quarterback, yes. Now let's talk about a Steelers team that has Sierra's husband taking the snaps. And,
don't you want some black quarterback?
Baby future stepdad. Yeah. Let's talk about the team that has baby future stepdad at quarterback. Chris, we can start with you this time. Obviously, the Steelers defense came to play against a subpar Giants team. But hey, Tyrone Tracy did show up. Shout out to him. Free him. Send him to Philly. But from an offensive perspective, what'd you see from Pittsburgh? What'd you like? What was probably the funniest George Pickens moment of the game?
From the top rope, George Pickens. That George
Pickens. Either from the top rope or two right taps because he didn't.
Yeah, but
he just didn't put his other foot down. He easily could have. But
wait, George Pickens is hilarious.
They need to change that rule, though. I do think 2 right feet shouldn't.
No, it has always been that. It's always been that way.
I know, but I thought this for the longest time. 2 right feet should, dude. One elbow is 2 feet.
Because you're down. Because it means you're down.
I didn't realize.
But if you can't establish, can you make a football move on one leg? No, you need 2 feet to make a football move. Hence, you need 2 feet in to make a catch. It's not debatable.
I see both y'all.
Put your second foot down. He just let it in the air. He didn't put his second foot down. That is entirely his fault. Every rule that I ever think is in place, I think makes sense. The only thing I would ever argue is like yardage. Like roughing the passer being 15 yards is like so broken. I think it should be like flagrant 1 and flagrant 2. There should be like running into the passer and then roughing the passer. So 5 yards and then maybe like 10 yards. I think 15 is a little egregious, but nonetheless, Chris, back to you. What'd you like from Pittsburgh in the dominant Monday night win, leading them to be 6-2 heading into the bye?
Well, I hated the fact.
I did predict.
I hated the fact.
Okay.
I hated the fact that the Steelers offense looked good under Russell Wilson again. I did not like that. No, but
maybe it's just Mike Tomlin.
No. Mike Tomlin is a producer of Wizards of Waverly Place. I know he has magic in him, but he doesn't have magic to make Russell Wilson this good. This is something else.
You got that Zachary Reese-Shea magic.
No. Russell Wilson is something else. Some other happiness. No, but they look good, man. I think they look good with Fields. They look better with Wilson because I think what Fields added on the ground, Russell Wilson's kind of doing the opposite with pushing the ball down the field a little more. And I think it's just worked for this team. It's making George Pickens happy, obviously. He's making plays. I mean, one thing about him, you can say whatever you want, but he's a playmaker for sure. And I think he's been having a chance to do so, which I think has been important for them. Like I said, if you could put up 20 points, you'll have a chance to win as the Steelers because the Steelers defense is the Steelers defense as it always is. So they just look good. They look like a well-rounded team, special teams, defense, offense. Everybody looked like they were well-oiled and moving in the right direction. So kind of like Danny alluded to, shout out to Mike Tomlin, but also, unfortunately, shout out to Russell Wilson. He's been playing very well, doing what Fields couldn't do, or I don't want to say couldn't, wouldn't do, or wasn't doing, whatever, however you want to say it, but he's doing it, and I think it makes the Steelers they're looking really good right now. Really, really good. So, yeah.
Yeah. I would say, obviously everyone saw it, but like the throw to George Pickens over the double team on the sideline, it's just like that's vintage. That's
one thing I wanted to remember too. While I was watching the game, they had show the airtime of Fields and Russell Wilson, just the average airtime on their deep balls, where how long it travels in the air and gives the receiver time to adjust to it or whatever the case may be. It was one deep ball Justin Fields threw 1.8 seconds. The other one was the one that Russell Wilson threw was 3.6 seconds. And I know it's only a 2-second difference, but obviously you guys know as football players how much time it is to adjust. Danny, you especially being a wide receiver, like you know how much time it is to adjust in the air. It just gives you more of a chance to fight downfield and make a play. So I think that's something to really shout Russell Wilson to. I mean, obviously he's been doing his whole career, but with a guy like George Pickens, that's food. So my bad.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. And the air, okay, so it's kind of because the discrepancy in like the hang time in their throws is because Justin Fields wants to make everything a bullet. Rightfully so. You've great arm talent, you've great arm strength, and Russell Wilson just has the best rainbow shot known to man. Like he could, if they needed him to throw a punt,
It drops
like
in the
an
bucket.
arm punt, third and deep, he's letting it fly. So yeah, but we can swing it to the actual Steelers fan here. Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny, what did you think? What did you think about Najee, who had a pretty good game? Your boy Calvin Austin had a pretty solid game on special
Yeah.
teams, and through the receiving game had a touchdown. What did you think?
I think Calvin Austin. Let's start with Najee. Third straight game where Najee Harris had a fantastic game. He had a lot of yards. He ran hard. Like this is the Najee Harris that like if they pay him is what they expect to get because he is a great running back when he's healthy, when he can provide this type of burst every week. And Calvin Austin, I told my stepdad, yo, put him on a touchdown ticket, and he paid off of there because Lord did he's fast. Quick little note about Calvin Austin. My PT, her friend, actually dog walked Calvin Austin's dog. So for Rover. So I think that's pretty cool.
It's pretty random.
Super random. But the Steelers like they didn't so called impress me against a weak Giants team. I think this Giants team has what I call the Cleveland Browns competitive spirit. It's
That's one way to put it, I guess.
They have like everything you expect out of like a competitive team. Like, but they just lose a lot of games.
A competitive football team would have a quarterback worthy of playing in our league. They would also have a defense that would choose to show up every single week. So, not really sure where you're getting at on this one. But yeah, even so, the 26-18 score, that doesn't show how dominant the Steelers were in this game at all. But Steelers, shout out to them, 320 or 426 yards of total offense, which is not something you see every day with the Steelers. So, shout out to them. That's it's obviously a big win. But we can move on to our Week 9 preview, and we can start with Thursday Night Football, where the Texans are actually 2-point underdogs in their road game against the Jets. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know. Because you get 3 points for, home field. So I'm assuming I don't know, whatever it may be. They're 2-point favorites. And nothing in these past 2 weeks, regardless of what's going on in Houston, there's going to be no Nico Collins. There's going to be no Stephon Diggs for the rest of the year. Some injuries on the O-line. There's still nothing about this Jets team that makes me want to pick them over Stroud and this guns blazing defense, by the way. Will Anderson is like, with Aiden Hutchinson out, Will Anderson is looking to become the defensive player of the year.
Yep,
for sure.
Unless, I don't know, unless the Jets offense becomes like all time, just like that, and the defense reverts to how it was 3 weeks ago. But it's just not going to happen. Especially, okay, the offense can probably take another step. It's only going to happen as Wilson, Adams, and Rodgers gel. The Wilson-Rodgers connection looks better every single week. I will not deny that. It really does look great. This defense is never going to be what it was 3 weeks ago, though, because you don't have the same man game planning for you anymore. One of, if not the best defensive mind active in our league. I'm going to say it every week. It mind boggles me that they fired him, but yeah, I don't get the favorite here. I would sneaky pick that for the hot take, but it's so like that's so not serious. I can't do that.
Yeah, I get that.
I want to say something, but I don't want to be controversial. But who doesn't love a little controversy? I think the reason why they're dogs is because boy math. The Texans lost 2 wide receivers. The Jets gained one, so now it means they win. IDK. But I do think it's gonna be a good game, though. I think it will be a good game. I'm not sure why it's gonna be a good game, but it's gonna be just one of those to where it just surprises you. I think Stroud plays well. I think Rodgers plays well. I think everyone who has to play well, I think plays well. I think the difference is going to be who makes more plays for the team, Brees Hall or Joe Mixon. And I think the reason it'll come down to it is because obviously, you're down another guy in Stephon Diggs. So, Tank Dell's probably going to be really heavily game plan for. I think it's going to be important to see how Joe Mixon can catch the ball out the backfield as well and also run it. Also, I think I talked about this last time he was on. Brees Hall has to be the center of this offense. Like, I know we want to make it, not we, but I know they want to make it Aaron-centric, have him change everything. No, Brees is the guy on his offense. He's what everything runs after. Like, if he's going, catching the ball in the backfield, running the ball well, the whole offense looks way better. So I think it's going to be a battle between that. So I'm looking forward to a good game, but I don't see why they're being underdogs. If anything, I can see them being even. But yeah, IDK. Robert Saleh, you are a defensive coordinator for the Ravens next year.
Nah, he is a defensive coordinator for the Packers this year.
That'd move mountains. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He is.
I won't lie to you.
He's an assistant.
That'd be gas.
You see that? He's in practice. He's assistant for the Packers now.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Or is he in that 2022 Fangio role for the Eagles?
Or is he in that
not getting fired?
Just
Fangio literally came on just for the playoffs. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and he got my man fired, so that was pretty crazy. Well, Gannon didn't get fired; he went to Arizona. But
you're fired.
I don't know if he should have been fired. I mean, I don't know if one game could get you fired against the greatest quarterback, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. Anyway, point is, I do want to say it's funny that you say that the thing where Brees Hall needs to be the workhorse guy because clearly Aaron Rodgers is just not. He's not an elite quarterback anymore. It would be better to fall back on your young, promising running back. But what's funny is the Texans have the young, promising QB who's already elite. And the older running back, quote, older, he's like dinosaur age and running back years. But they rely more on the old, sturdy running back, giving him 20-plus touches a game. And it works fine. Is that courtesy to having 3 for the last couple weeks, 2, now 1 really good wide receiver to help space out the field and make you not you have to respect the box, but you also have to respect these weapons. Absolutely. But now is more than ever. Now is why you give Joe Mixon the carries, the reps, so that he's about to go into war. He's got he's got a couple Uzis. He said I got a couple grenade launches with a switch. That's what Kevin Garnett was saying. He said he was ready to go to war, and I think Joe Mixon is about to go to war. I got Texans in this one, though. It could be a good one. I don't like the Texans' weapons as they currently stand against the Jets secondary, but I like Joe Mixon's chances to run this ball against what's going to be, again, an unprepared Jets defense. But I expect the Jets offense to make yet another leap from an eye test perspective. Probably not from a numbers because the Texans defense is just really good, but you'll start to see what I like to call now an Evan Mobley leap. The numbers won't change, but if you watch him, he is getting better. I promise.
Yep, man, I'm so happy you said that because that is the truth about him. Wow, that was greatly said.
He just go average 15 and 8 for the rest of his career, but I promise you, when he hits 27, it's like, yo, this 15 and 8, though.
Great. I'm telling you.
You get what I'm saying. But we can move on to the Sunday slate of games. Starting with the 1:00. We can start Ravens-Broncos. The Ravens' newest addition is Deontay Johnson, who is about the lowest level of wide receiver 1, but good enough to where you could be like, okay, this is a great guy for Lamar. This is someone who wins his reps. He's been really good catching the football this year. It's just a matter of if it gets to him or not. And they're playing a, believe it or not, 5-3 Broncos team. With Bo Nix coming off probably his best game. Yes, they play the Panthers, but I didn't give, I said that was a good game for Caleb Williams. It's also going to be a good game for Bo Nix. Like I said, when he is not pressured, good things can happen. And that might be something to watch for Denver in this game. If Baltimore can generate a real pass rush, I think Bo Nix has a chance to, keep the Broncos in this game. But Chris, with having Deontay Johnson, that bumps Zay to 2, that bumps Bateman to 3. What do you think that's just going to do?
They announced that Bateman's still a 2.
Yep. I was just going to say they announced that it's still 1, 2, 3. Like
I'm so sure. Anyway, what does that do? Either way, Tay's bumping everybody down the roster or bumping everyone down the depth chart. What do you think that's going to do for Lamar and the pass game? Because the running game is juiced as ever, and the pass game is still juiced, but it's about to get even juicier.
Yeah, I just wish Deontay Johnson could play edge. That's the only problem. Damn it, I wish he was two-way like Travis could play edge.
You know he can't play corner though, because he can't catch sometimes.
Perfect.
And he could cover probably. Bang.
Oh, he's our new Ardarius Washington.
And then you put Kyle Hamilton at edge rusher.
I've been begging for it. Put Kyle on the edge. Put Eddie Jackson in prison, and we're winning.
But Kyle Hamilton can play tight end. Charlie Kolar get hurt. Kyle Hamilton tight end position.
I agree, but what I will say though about Deontay Johnson edition, thank you Ravens for staying on brand. This is what we do. We get a person a year late. That's what we'll do. We'll get the guy we should have had a year before and get him a year late, and he's going to still work out great for us. I think Deontay Johnson's going to be a welcomed addition. And I think the main reason is because, and I love Nelson Aguilar. I do. I really do. But swapping that with either A, pushing Bate and Zay now, even though they didn't want to say it, or just having Deontay Johnson in that role, it's just more weapons on the field. So I think it's going to be a W for the offense. But I think the offense is the least of the worries. Even the passing game, this is probably the best passing game I've seen on a Lamar-led Ravens team since Lamar's been there. Just with the efficiency, how many people are getting catches and targets, it looks well oiled. So I think Deontay Johnson's going to make it a lot better. It's just the problem with the defense is just a problem still. And I don't want to blame Zach Orr because I'm a big Zach Orr fan. He was a Raven, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know if he was ready for this. I think he should have maybe done a couple more years as an assistant or coordinator, before being coordinator. But I mean, he is what we have now. And at the same time, he can't make people catch picks. He can't go out there and catch the ball for him. Now Kyle Hamilton gets a pass because he makes every other play. But my God, 3 other picks were dropped. And like I told you, I said James is going to throw it to us a couple times. He did. Just didn't catch him. So I think that game is more so on just those little blunders. We could have easily we win that game if one or two of those picks are caught. So like I said, I want to give Zach Orr more time to figure it out. But I think from your question, I think the offense is going to be just even better. And I think it's going to show up more like turn of the year. Like when you get really to those nitty-gritty games where you're already running the ball with Derrick Henry 20 times and you just hit somebody over the head, Deontay Johnson over the head pass, I can see it now. So I think that's probably the best part of what he brings to the offense.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Danny, you have any thoughts on this game?
You let Jameis Winston, bad defense. You let Jameis Winston.
You're thinking, hold up, we're not at the Browns yet. We're Broncos Ravens.
Broncos Ravens.
Yeah, we're previewing Broncos Ravens.
Oh, sorry. We already did that. I'm like,
oh
lit.
my God.
But they did let Jameis Winston. They let Jameis Winston. I was going somewhere with this. They let Jameis Winston dial them up. He's a vet. Bo Nix, not a vet, but he plays like a vet.
Because he's 44 years old.
It's highly questionable. I don't know about plays like a vet, but
he plays like he
Maxi
has
30 bomb.
That's the
down
average.
19.
He probably shooting 7 for 40.
Doesn't matter. Get him up.
When your best players are down, it's always real to unload the clip.
Facts.
Hey, Danny, quick question. Would you rather him shoot 40 times or Caleb Martin to shoot 20?
Caleb Martin to shoot 5.
There you go. See, now you get Cook.
Quinn Cook. But yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are playing the Broncos. Should be a win. They're both 5-3. They both, I believe, already had their bye week. No, they didn't have their bye week. Go get week 9. They both didn't have their bye week, and they both are probably. This is like the loser of this game becomes 5-4, and a 7 seed in the AFC wildcard race. This is a huge game. And the Broncos, I would never have thought that they would be 5-3 going into week 9. Never in my life would I have thought this booty cheeks of a team would be this good. because this team is god awful. Like and they lost one of their best players in their middle linebacker in Alex Singleton. So their defense, very well coached, I guess, because Peyton's awesome.
Yeah, this really comes down to great coaching and the
great secondary
offense. The offense being built in Bo Nick's favor.
Yep.
Because this kind of leads us to the next not game I want to talk about, but Andy Dalton's healthy and Canales says, "No, I want to go back to Bryce." And Bryce didn't play the prettiest game last week. Threw a lot of passes for 200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. About as like even scratch as a game could get. But the point is that Bryce, you have a full year of tape on him and some change, and they benched him, right? And maybe at the time people were like, you are not even giving him a chance. But 3 weeks go by. I even think if Dalton didn't get hurt, he put on his worst outing before he got hurt. So I think this was something that they were discussing, and they're going back to their young guy, and he's probably going to be starting for hopefully the rest of the year because this is really his last audition. And like Kevin O'Connell said, organizations fail young quarterbacks before vice versa. And we'll talk more about the Colts later because that really upsets me what they did. But I just want to say shout out to Panthers giving your young guy a shot.
As they should. Like, what the
Yeah. Like, and look, you got to take the lumps. I'm not saying Bryce is a big project guy. I was kind of on the wag. Like, I thought CJ Stroud would be like he would be good the fastest, but I also thought he had the lowest ceiling of the big three. Where now it kind of looks like maybe Bryce does because he's so limited from an athletic standpoint and he's already so little. But I think he still has a shot to be like a decent quarterback in this league. I really do. It's just a matter of can he get this thing going? And for whatever reason, can he please stop calling 5 slants? That's so dumb.
Hey, that looks fake. It looks fake.
Just turn the 2 into drags and then turn the other 2 into vertical intermediate routes, and bam, you got yourself a nice little concept there. But that's just I just wanted to get that out the way. Other 1:00 game I want to talk about. I do want to talk about Chargers Browns. Chargers are finally back in the win column. They beat the Raiders. No, they didn't play the Raiders. They didn't play the Raiders. Who did they play? The Saints. They did beat the Saints, who the Panthers are about to play. Sorry. They beat the Saints. Herbert has his best game of the year. I believe that's now 3 or 4 straight 200-yard games. So it's his 3rd straight 200 plus. He did have 349 against the Cardinals, but Herbert's starting to access the air in this Greg Roman offense, which Chris knows rare. You have to be one of those ones to get your passing numbers in a Greg Roman offense, but he does it. He's slowly starting to find his one in Ladd McConkey, which he's still been up and down to start the rookie year, and hopefully he can start stacking some of these games. But I want to flip it. I want to talk about the Browns first. They're 2-6. The playoff hopes are virtually dead. But what can we can start with Danny on this one. What can the Browns do to draw up a recipe for disaster against one of the best run defenses in the NFL? But what can the Browns do to keep these seemingly non-existent playoff hopes alive and get a win against LA?
Yeah, I think the Browns are in a unique spot, right? Like they're 2-6 going into
2-6.
This week 9. They have a completely new quarterback. Their team is not great. It's average at best. Like Myles Garrett, if they lose, probably going to be put in the trade block. They're going to put everyone in the trade block. So I think they're in a really interesting spot, but I think that they're in a good spot just because they're going to be playing upset. They have division games against like the Steelers and Ravens coming up. Like they just played the Ravens, but they probably have one more. They have all these division games coming up. The Browns should really accept the fact of who they are and start playing upset. They're an upset team. They're going to have fun and just go out there and say, hey, let's go beat these guys. Let's play hard-nosed football and let's try to sneak out a win. Because I think they have some talented on the roster, but they're going to want to put pressure on Herbert, and that's, I think, the key to the win.
Yeah, I would agree. Nothing spells go out there and have fun like having Jameis Winston quarterback. So,
Yo,
but going to Chris,
the most fun guy you could probably have out there if you're just looking for fun.
well, I prefer my fun guy not to SA Uber drivers, but going to Chris, what can the Chargers do to avoid upset?
fire Greg Roman today, and then don't go to the game. No, just play it. Run the ball, which they're gonna do under that.
Yeah,
Under that
I was like
offense.
Dobbins has been great
they're
all
gonna
year.
run it. They're gonna run it, and I think just gotta keep the game. Try to make it low scoring, because I think what Jameis Winston does do well, going out and having fun is one thing, but one thing he's gonna do is push the ball down the field, and that's where it can get scary. So I think you want to keep this game low scoring, like a 20-13 type of jab, 16-13, something like that. And just muck it up a little bit. 'Cause like I said, they want to play fun football, but when you slow the game down, I think that's when you can kind of catch them. Just with not having Amari Cooper anymore, having Jameis Winston out there, I think that's when you can kind of catch them. Looking forward to another good game, though. This isn't my game of the week, but this is going to be one of those interesting ones where it could be like one of those random Raiders Chiefs upsets or Raiders Ravens upsets, like a upset type of game, even though it's not really an upset, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just want to see kind of how it plays out. I think both teams are still fighting for something as of right now to the trade deadline.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, one thing the Chargers going to do is run the ball, and Herbert has really found his stride as in the past game. I think it's only going to build on that. I think they get a win in Cleveland. They're 1.5 favorites. I really like those odds. But yeah, and Joey Bosa was seen back at practice, unfortunately. But fortunately for the Chargers defensive line, that's great news. Because when he is available, he is a good player. That's just rarely. And one would call it karma, I would say. But nonetheless, the rest of the 1 p.m. the 1 p.m. slate, it's nothing really. We got Cowboys Falcons, who are probably the two grand centrals of disappointment on a week-to-week basis. The Falcons can give you the greatest show you've ever seen, or they could,
The Falcons. Last time Falcons Cowboys played in my remembrance was that onside kick that spun and the Cowboys recovered after coming back like 20 points.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
And then we have Dolphins Bills. Bills are probably going to kick their teeth in and probably end their season effectively. Raiders Bengals. This should be a game that the Bengals win, get back to 4-5. They have some pretty real playoff hopes just because their offense is so explosive. This is also going to involve T. Higgins coming back. Jason Tatum just hit a Chris Paul, by the way. They're down 6 with like a minute and some change left, but he hit a big 3. But that's the point here. Commanders Giants. I expect this to go way different. And if y'all have an opinion on any of these games, feel free to chime in. But Commanders Giants, I expect the Commanders to kick their teeth in. I don't want this to look anything like the game earlier in the year. No game-winning field goals. Go in there. If you're an elite team, you handle business against bad teams. Eagles did it. I'm going to say the Steelers did it. The score doesn't look that way, but we watched the football game. Steelers took care of the Giants. Be like those guys. Kick their teeth in. Get out. Healthy. Let Jane Daniels sit a quarter and a half. This game should be over pretty early. And then we got Patriots Titans, which is going to be real boring. If
Tony Pollard legacy game.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. I got in an argument with Giovanni. Danny was there. I was telling Giovanni that like I'm tapped into like 32 teams. Like I really like to do my stuff around the league. And Danny was like, "That's a lie." I'm like, "Who?" He was like, "The Titans." I was like, "I'm tapped into 31 teams." Hey, I'm not tapped into the Titans. There's nothing. Look, even all right. Levis was the only thing keeping my eye on them because he's a fun project guy, just a funny quarterback.
Mayo, top Mayo. Not even milk. He's Mayo.
Yeah, bro. He's not. Yeah, he's definitely not milk. He's not milk. He's Mayo. But nothing really going on over there.
Hey, I will say this though. I might have been reading this wrong, but did last week Ramondre Stevenson have 20 rushes for 42 yards, or am I tripping? Because I seen that somewhere, and if that's real, that is actually insane. 2.2 yards a carry is actually crazy. I'm looking up. He actually did have 20 carries, 42 yards. If it's gonna be any game like that, this game is gonna be 6-3 or 3-0.
So not to give live updates. The Celtics were down by 24 in this game, 24 in the third quarter, and they were down with 9 minutes. They were down 90 seconds ago. We're looking at a 3-point game with 64 seconds to go because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown just like absolutely took over this basketball. And Derek White.
At least you didn't lose to the Pistons.
I don't want to lose to anybody. To be entirely honest with
Cade
you,
Cunningham and the Pistons. By the way,
look, I'm telling you, man. If it was a 7-game series, it's going to 7. It's going to 6 or 7, and it's going to be competitive as hell because the Pistons just got it, bro. Cade Cunningham sees the Celtics and he's like, I gotta have it because he's one of the rare guards that Drew and Derek just can't handle. He's too big. He's a 6'7" true point guard. He is ridiculous, and the world should know about Cade Cunningham. He was just the number 1 overall pick.
He has that Paolo syndrome where nobody cares for some reason, and they're literally playing like number 1 picks. Like I mean, the team success hasn't been there for the Pistons, but they've been playing number 1 pick. I know it's not basketball time, but don't get me started on Cade and Paolo disrespect.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
bro, it's
unreal.
Look, come on.
Cade, Paolo, or trade 3 most disrespected players in the NBA. That's a fact.
We're here, bro. We're really the CEOs of all the same fan clubs, bro. We really are. Especially Maris Zubelis. Or however you say his name. His cut is ass.
I only know him because of 2K. I only knew him because of 2K. He was like the number 1 ranked 2K prospect for the last 5 years.
He was like Cooper.
Yeah, they went to Ignite, which abolished Ignite. It's not good for all the top.
They did abolish it. You're welcome.
Because it's just not productive for the top prospects. But anyway, moving on, we got to go to our 4 p.m. window here. Sorry for the quick basketball interjection. You knew it was bound to happen. But going to our 4 p.m. slate, it starts to turn up just a little bit. We got Cardinals Bears, which the seemingly fighting for nothing Cardinals sit at the top of the competitive NFC West. Meanwhile, the high expectation Bears they had 5-2 in their grasp. And then, like we said last episode, Hail Mary to the Commanders. And now you're sitting at 4-3. And you have to go in to a pesky Arizona Cardinals State Farm Stadium. It's gonna be tough, but I've seen this Cardinals defense fold at different parts of the year against elite offenses. I need Caleb Williams to start building some consistency here. You had 3 weeks where I was like, all right, he's locked in. We're only going to get better every single week. And then for roughly 45 minutes of football last week, he looked like the worst quarterback I've ever seen. And then he locks in for 15 minutes. I'm like, give me that for 4 quarters. You know you're capable of it. The best quarterbacks show up in the 4th quarter. You did that. But the all-time greats give you that all 4 quarters and don't even have to be in that situation. So going to Chris first on this one, what do you want to see more of out of the Bears this week that they didn't do a lot of in the past week?
Be consistent, dude. That's it. And I think it's obviously easier said than done. I mean, football's hard. They're all professionals. I get it. But when I say consistency, it's with the play calling. It's with being locked in. It's with doing all the little stuff. Like the stuff that you can control, they have to do that for 48 minutes. And I think that's the problem. At some parts of the game, it looked like they want to let Caleb loose. And then in some parts of the game, it looked like they want to treat him like a toddler. I think they have to figure out which one is going to be which. Are they gonna run the ball? Or are they not? Is everything going to be a fake pass to a tight end? Like, what are we really doing? And I think the consistency has been the problem because when they're playing well, I'm not playing well, but when they have consistency of what they're doing, they go out there and, like you said, they have 5-2 in their grasp. It was right there. So I just want to see them be consistent and take a little pressure off Caleb. I think right now for a rookie, it's like he's like a 7-year vet. Need you to win us this game. It's like, bro, he is a rookie at the end of the day, a really good rookie, but he is one at the end of the day. So I think you kind of got to do a little better around the game so it doesn't just revolve on Caleb when it comes to
but he did win them the game though. That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
He won them the game. Don't allow Hail Mary and Caleb Williams winning the game. The storyline says Caleb Williams leads game-winning drives, scores 3 straight drives to end game. That's the storyline.
Agreed.
So let's not get it wrong. Caleb Williams led the Bears in the fourth quarter perfectly.
No, that's what I'm saying. He definitely did, but I was saying like he had to because of the inconsistency in the game, and that's why I said I think you saved those performances for Caleb. Like you don't make him do that right now. Like, and I think he showed he can do it, which is good though. So I think that's something you can lean back on, like when you know you're gonna need him to go be Superman for a time. So it's cool to see him do it, but it just sucks, like you said, it was like in a losing effort though.
Yeah.
You can mute it, Tom.
My bad. I was spitting though. I promise. Caleb, he's going to learn that as one of the greats. You know, there will be many times where you walk off that field with the lead, game seemingly over. It just so happens there's another great one on the other side, man, and it really sucks. Danny, do you have anything you want to add? What here? Let me ask you about the Cardinals since we just talked about the Commanders a lot, or we talked about the Bears a lot. Cardinals, 4-4 here. And it seemingly seems like they're going to play upset. They are favorite, but it seems like they're playing upset in this one. What did you see last week in the Miami game that needs to transfer over into this game for them to hit 5-4 and stay atop of this ultra competitive division?
I think it's pretty simple. Marvin Harrison Jr. Get this guy targets. He is a freak. Target him. Let him go play jump balls. Let him go be Marvin Harrison. Let him cook Jalen Ramsey at the old age, given that. Whatever. Let Marvin Harrison be Marv because he has all the goods to be an elite receiver in this league. And I don't understand not putting him as the primary target in your game plan. He is amazing. He is what you should be throwing the ball to. He's an elite receiver. So I think that needs to transfer and just play competitive defense. You don't need to hold him to 10 points. You don't need to hold him to 15 points. Just play competitive defense and move on.
Again, you muted yourself again, Tom, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, I was basically just agreeing with Danny. Get McBride the ball, get Harrison the ball. Other
McBride's
game,
awesome. Okay. I feel like earlier in the season, Kyler was kind of held on to a certain part of the playbook, and they were just kind of here, run this vanilla offense. Dude, he's Kyler Murray. Let him run anything he wants.
Yeah,
I'm saying that
I agree.
He has all the goods. He has the arm talent. And he has the ability to run. He's a year removed from the ACL surgery now. From actually being able to play. So he should have the entire full goods and full good to go.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of someone that seemingly has been handed over said playbook because he is also a quarterback name of that stature, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts over his last 3 games has looked like one of, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. Really over his last 4, we're talking 11 total touchdowns to 1 interception. The quarterback rating is above 120. The team is winning 3 game win streak. And they're starting to really put the pause on some teams, and they're not letting their foot off the gas. The vertical game has looked great. He's accessing the middle of the field. Danny, I guess my question for you is, I think we all think they're going to beat the Jaguars. But my question to you really is, what's been different these last 3 weeks? Why do the Eagles from week 6 through 8 look like they could take a team just from right before the bye and probably put 40 up on them while holding them to 0?
I'll tell you why. It's very simple. It's the fact that at the bye, let's just say the Eagles entered this season and at an unacceptable rate. Their playbook was not installed. They were running very vanilla plays. Their full playbook was not installed. They weren't running under center. They came to the bye week, installed under center, installed a lot more of these dynamic plays, and they become more of a repped offense. And that is the key function here. Because look, Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, man.
This guy installed an offense under center and is going to let Saquon run. I saw a stat. The top 5 most running frequencies in the league are all 5-2 or 6-2. Let that sink in.
Yeah. When you run that pill, you set up your quarterback for success.
And that just speaks Steelers, the Eagles, the Ravens. I believe the Chiefs are even up there with all of their entire running back room getting banged up.
Because Andy Reid's still going to run the ball.
Whether it's Carson Steele, Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or Isaiah Pacheco.
We're cool
So-
off Edwards-Helaire, man. Definitely don't give him the ball.
Don't give him the ball, but he on the roster for some reason.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
But
yeah, I absolutely agree. And then
running the ball, super important.
Yeah, I will say even from a defensive standpoint, it doesn't seem like much has changed except one guy has effectively changed everything. Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is effectively an extra linebacker. He's effectively an extra linebacker while playing corner. Think of this as pseudo, and I mean very pseudo, like Kyle Hamilton. It's not the center fielder that Hamilton is, but again, the ability to make plays, tackles for loss, really go, on that fourth down stop, he goes with the motion. Jamar looks like he's going back. He goes back with the motion. Then Jamar goes back into motion, tracks him all the way down, tackle for 3 yards, lost, give Hurts and getting the ball back. He's looked great, and he's definitely surpassed my expectations even so far. From a coverage standpoint, the tackling, it was going to be there. That's kind of why I wanted him to play safety. The coverage has also been there as well, and he's been the highest graded defender. I think he was the highest graded defender just last week. On top of that, another young guy, Nolan Smith, had the highest pass rush win rate of any edge rusher this week who had, the qualifying pass rush snaps. He's looked good. Bryce Huff is starting to generate some pressures. Obviously, the big boys in the middle are generating pressures up the middle. And I can't say enough about Bond and Dean. I thought we were going into the season with one of the weakest linebacker cores in the league, and Dean and Bond have been definitely surpassed my expectations. So they have to continue this. Secondaries looked great. Isaiah Rodgers even filled in for a Hurt Slay. He had the assist to Gardner Johnson on the interception. And yeah, offense is clicking. Hurts looking like he wants to backdoor this MVP. Unfortunately, Lamar and Josh have a substantial lead over everybody else. So I don't know if that'll happen, but we'll have some 2018 Paul George-esque conversations, if that makes sense. Where it's like, oh yeah, he's cool, but he ain't. He's not Giannis and Harden. Let's be honest. But nonetheless, the Eagles are probably going to win that game. So don't mean to dive into that too much. But the game of the week, Lions Packers. We got 6-1 Lions heading to 6-2 Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love says the groin feels great. Playing this week is very realistic. It's definitely a possibility. Chris, so Detroit is still 3.5-point favorites on the road. How can the Packers defend home field against the probably hottest team in the NFL right now?
Scariest part, I do think the Lions are going there and roll. That's the crazy part. I think they're going to really roll the Packers. That's my thought process. But if they were to not roll them, I think what they have to do is keep up with them scoring. And I think with no Jordan Love, it'll be almost impossible. But with Jordan Love out there, I think they have a chance to do it because the Packers have sneaky good weapons. I don't know if it's sneaky. They have really good weapons on the offense. So I think they can do it to Jordan Love's out there, but I think they have to score 28, 30 points. Like that's my thought process. This Lions offense is special, even though Jameson Williams is out because he's a crash out. But outside of that, I think this offense is pretty special. I think it just means more Gibbs, and I think more Gibbs is great. So I think you use him more as a receiving back, and you keep Montgomery back there. So I think they have a couple options that they can go to. So I think you have to score a lot of points for them not to get beat. And I think it's possible. Like I said, with Jordan Love out there, I think it's possible. But I think it'd be – and I like Malik Willis too. And he got free from Tennessee. Shout out to him. But I don't know if he'll be able to be the one to keep up with Jared Goff with how hot he's been. He's been very hot. And I'm a Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford hater for sure. But I have nothing to hate on for them this year, especially Jared Goff. He's been balling. So I think for them to not get beat up, they got to score at least 28 points. I think this Lions offense going to come near to play.
Yeah. And the best part about it is the Lions have cruised these last couple games, so they're well rested. Guys are getting out in the fourth quarter. They're doing anything. They're trying to get Penei Sewell touchdowns. And it's absolutely ridiculous, man.
Yep.
I need them to throw the jump ball to Goff. Just let it happen. Dude's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, I think it's an Amon-Ra game too, y'all. I think this is a big Amon-Ra game. I think he has.
He's got a tall task. Well, he won't really have Jair.
I don't know if Jair's,
but
yeah,
I don't know if he's going to bring him into the slot, but
yeah. But I think he has a big game. Him and Gibbs. I think him and Gibbs are the two main pieces of this. I mean, obviously with no JMO, it's going to be them two in Montgomery. But I think them having big games is what would do it to the Packers, unless they can slow it down and maybe keep them under a certain amount of points. I think it's gonna be rough.
And then, Danny, heading to you, what do the Lions do to go in and continue being kings of the North?
Yeah, I think the Lions are in a unique spot, especially after losing probably their second best player on offense, to be completely honest. So I think what the Lions have to do is be the Detroit Lions. Go in and try to be tough and aggressive and play like hard, right? But go just outscore them. Like just go out there and fucking score. Like the Packers are going to put up points. You can't expect your defense to go out there and ball. You need to go out there and try to put up 40, like you did in the Titans. Like I think that's good. I know they put up 52, but like 40 is like.
I think scoring. Hot take. I think scoring 52 on the Packers would help.
I think scoring more points is a good thing.
I think scoring. No, hot take. I think you should score less points than the other team.
Make them work harder.
It really shows your sportsmanship and your manhood.
They got to earn it.
Yeah. I say lose the game on purpose so you have bulletin board material for next time. But yeah, obviously I agree with everything you guys said. Really, with the Packers, it's for once ever, don't establish a number one wide receiver. I would like to see them keep this Lions defense on its toes with getting Jaden Reed in some pre-snap motion plus motion jet sweeps. Get Wicks involved, get Daubs involved. Too many talented guys to not get everyone involved. Of course, get Josh Jacobs, the carries, get him involved in the pass game. He's one of the best receiving backs in the league. So it's a matter of feeding everybody. And if someone gets hot, hey, then someone gets hot. But I think the real way to spread this team out is, Jordan Love. Don't just be stuck on one guy. Really stretch the field. I do have the Lions winning this game, though. But this is going to be an NFC North classic, in my opinion. I think this is going to be a great game.
I think the Lions are the best team in the NFC right now, and
arguably the best team in the NFL. Arguably,
they have all of the goods to get it done. So
yeah,
I like to see it. I think the Lions should be Super Bowl favorite in the entire NFL right now. I know the Chiefs are undefeated, but I think the Lions should be the favorite because the Chiefs. I need to see Mahomes look better. Like this, I'll go as far as this right now. This Mahomes, as he's playing, if he continues this play, will not win the Super Bowl.
Well, sure, if he sticks to playing how he is, but he started.
I'm not betting him to continue that, but I'm just saying if he continues, that won't win.
Which he won't, because he started the last 5 seasons this way, where he starts the first 9 weeks as a turnover machine, and then you blink, he finishes with 35 touchdowns and only 12 interceptions, despite throwing 9 in his first 7 weeks. I've gotten to the point with Mahomes where I have to treat him like Brady. I can't bet against them. They're still the favorites, and they're winning these games. They're undefeated, and their best player is just lagging behind the rest of the team. So imagine when one of the best football players that ever graced the cosmos starts, playing like himself. I still have the Chiefs as the favorites, but that would be probably the Super Bowl matchup right now. Either that or Lions Ravens would be my matchup. But yeah, I totally agree. This is a game where this next game we got Rams Seahawks. The Rams are the favorite here on the road, and I think rightfully so. I think when they're healthy, they're not. This isn't a 3-4 team. I really don't. Not with Puka and Cup back, especially not with Puka back, because Puka, he really, literally and figuratively sets everything into motion. The pre-snap motion he does basically allows Stafford to dictate what the defense is, and then from there have fun guarding Tutu, guarding, Cup, Puka, the whole gang. So I don't know if did anyone have any words, anything they want to see from the Seahawks Rams game. I did have the Rams winning, so
I like the Rams, dude. With the offense back, they look absolutely juiced. They look dialed in. So I love the Rams team here. I think that they have all the goods to backdoor playoff run. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think Danny
All
said
right.
it.
And then last game that we'll preview for this one is Colts Vikings, which was flexed to prime time. And now we're going to see Joe Flacco versus Sam Darnold instead of Anthony Richardson. And whether it be that, you know, Flacco gives you the better chance at winning, you don't draft the rawest QB prospect of all time to give up on him after 10 games. That's simply like drafting malpractice. Like, you knew what you were getting yourself into. If you can't take the lumps 10 games in, then you don't deserve to have a quarterback prospect like that. It's really disappointing because Brady preached, like, guys need to sit their first year. He basically did. He got to play 5 games. He had to play 5 games. He got hurt again. So he essentially was redshirted. And then, he goes out there coming off injury, of course. He's going to be a little shaky, and it's like they don't even give him a shot. So it's just really disappointing. I have the Vikings winning this game, if anyone cares about the results. But yeah.
Dude, I think Jettis has a great game, too.
Yep, I agree.
I know you should. I know you should.
Obviously, but I mean,
Chris, I know you sure hope that he has a good game.
So do I. He's on my other team, so I'll take the lumps.
I'm on the biggest Linsanity run right now. The Linsanity run I'm on right now is like Linsanity mixed with like Spud Web dunk contest merchant. Like, I am doing it's unreal what's happening right now.
Yeah. But I would say, with that being said, we can get into our hots and locks to finish out the episode. Would anyone like to go first?
Chris, you can go first. Since you weren't on the Sunday episode, let's hear it.
All right. I guess my hot take. What's my hot take? Well, that's my hot take. Hot take is the Jets beat the Texans tomorrow.
Bingo.
Well, yeah.
That's not even a hot. That's kind of
but
I count it as a hot. Dude.
Yeah, no.
They should not be favored.
Yeah, okay. For sure.
Okay, so that counts. And then the lock of the week. Okay.
The lock should be the New York Yankees losing the World Series.
No, because Aaron Judge is going to hit 14 home runs. No, I'm just kidding. I think my lock. I got the Browns over the Chargers. I'm gonna lock that in.
Okay.
I know it sounds crazy.
Lock,
but I think they roll the momentum over, and then I think they win like a 16-13 game. I think it's a close one, and I think they win somehow, some way with the Jameis Winston magic, because he said, direct quote, "This is one cold white boy I know from Detroit, Eminem," and he once said, "Lose yourself."
That's so funny.
That was elite. So yeah, I think the Browns win a close one against the Chargers. That's my my lock.
Love that.
Danny?
Unless you want to go.
No, I asked you for a reason.
All right. Give me the absolute lock of the week is Philadelphia Eagles beating the Jags at home.
Okay, thanks. Can't wait for the Eagles to lose now.
I cannot see them losing at all.
Well, we're gonna lose because you bet on them. Anytime Danny bets on something that I like, that they forgot to play whatever said sport it is. So there's that.
Yeah. And
yeah, I know.
Give me the Browns upsetting the Chargers. Back-to-back wins for the Browns.
Okay. So my lock is I'm gonna lock the Bills. I think they're gonna walk all over Miami. It's not particularly gonna be a close game. And then my upset of the week, I'm gonna pick the Panthers over the Saints, who they're 7.5-point dogs. I think that is way too much. I think Bryce Young is going to get his first win in a while. That caps it off. So our hot takes, Chris or Danny has Browns over the Chargers. Chris has Jets over the Texans. I have Panthers over Saints. And then for the locks, Danny has the Eagles over the Jaguars. Chris has the Browns over the Chargers. And then I have the Bills over the Dolphins. And that is practically everything from us. Again, I want to remind everybody, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave a like, 5-star review, comment if you can, download if you love the episode. From AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on Monday.